I am so excited for this video because I have wanted to make this video and this project for months. And when I say months, I mean like a good 3-4 months now. I have been waiting for this exact moment and it has finally arrived. And that is, I'm going to knit myself a sweater. Yes, you heard that right, knit, not crochet. I'm going to knit it. Will it go well? I don't know. Will it take me a month, 2 months, 3 months, the entire year? I also don't know. I hope it doesn't take me that long. The last time I knit was almost a year ago, and then I never picked up knitting needles again until now. I love making crochet cardigans. I like how they fit. I like how I can wear something underneath them. I like how I can button them up if I want to, but sweaters have always just been a little bit of a problem. Even though like I love the sweaters I've made, I've never gotten them to fit me exactly how I want them to fit me. So that is why I want to attempt to knit. The sweater that I'm going to be doing is called Step by Step Sweater, Handmade by Florence. Okay, I will link this in the description below. It is a free pattern, and it says here there is a YouTube video for the trickier steps in the knitting process, which absolutely gonna need. I can't really say anything else about the pattern because I don't know how to read it yet. I do, however, can show you the yarn that I bought. It is the Karen Blossom Cakes, and look how beautiful this is. The color that I got was called Tropical Blooms. This yarn is actually 61% cotton and 39% acrylic. I just thought that this was all acrylic. I didn't even realize there was cotton in it. I've been saving this for January because I knew that is when I'd have the time to make this sweater. If you're new to my channel and you like crocheting and yarn and thrifting and the 80s and like all that jazz, why not hit the subscribe button? Alrighty, let's go over the plan for the project. I'm going to be making the step-by-step sweater, and I'm going to be doing it in a size large. The yarn is the Karen Blossom Cakes, and it is a medium worsted weight yarn. The knitting needles that I am using for this project are by ChowGoo, and I am using the 4.5, 5, and 6 millimeter needles. All right, I'm on to day 2 on working on this. Yesterday, I did the collar. I think it's looking pretty good. Well, I'm technically still doing the collar. It got more than halfway through it, so I'm hoping to get the collar done today. Also, this is not going to be like my typical crocheting video because I don't really know what I'm doing, so it's kind of hard for me to figure out what I should film and what I should not film. So I'm just going to film what I think is necessary to make this video somewhat interesting. Also, this is more of like a little like video journal of my knitting process because I don't know how long it's going to take me to do this. Again, it could take me a week, not going to take me a week, or it could take me 2 months. You know, just kind of keeping like a little video diary of things that I'm doing. I finally got off of the collar and I'm working on the body of it now. I really love how these colors are looking. I do think that my tension can definitely be better because the stitches aren't like perfectly uniform, but it is interesting. I got all my little stitch markers. These are all little cat stitch markers. They're so cute. I love the fun things that you can get with knitting. Like, yes, I know you can get fun stitch markers for crochet too, but like these, I absolutely love these. And another thing I do have to say I like about knitting is that I don't have to go looking for a crochet hook. The needles are already attached to the project. So if I lose the project, I lose the needles. I do like that. And then if anyone's wondering what this is just to remind myself that this side has to face me. But now I guess I don't really need it because I can see that this is clearly the back side. Before, this obviously looked exactly like the front. So I did need that just to make sure I knew what side I was on. This is from day 3. The collar, I'm going to be flipping it and then sewing it down, and I probably could have like knit it down, but I didn't know what to do. I think it's in the instructions, but I just didn't feel like learning that. It's fine. I love how the stripes are turning out. I wish there was more of this like blue color in here. There'll probably be a bigger update when I'm done the whole body, and then I'll probably do a try on. But until then, I really have got nothing to show you until I get to that point. Still have a lot of rows to go before I'm done building out the arm and stuff like that. So this is what it's looking like. I don't know if I need a longer cord. I do find it's like kind of like rolling and it's a little annoying. So I don't know if I have to get another cable, but I feel like once I'm done these rows, I'm not going to need the big cable anymore. Because again, I'm new to knitting, so if you have any advice, please leave it in the comments. Is this okay that this normally happens, or do you think I should get a longer cable? But I mean, like, it's looking like a sweater right now, and that's what's important. I honestly don't know what day I'm on anymore, but I'm still doing the exact same thing. Still working on the front and back panel, still adding on to the sleeves. I think I have like 14 more rows until something different happens. I feel like with crocheting by now I would have had probably the front and the back done, maybe a sleeve done. I finally got to the point where I no longer have to do increases, but I'm now at the point where I don't have to work on the sleeves anymore and I'm just working on the body of it. And unlike crocheting, where you don't gotta worry about like your stitches coming loose, I gotta worry about that now. Fun times. And that's not going anywhere. Yay, okay. I am making a lot of progress on this. I finally got to the point where I no longer have to keep doing increases, and I'm currently working on the body of this pattern. I don't know if I made it too big. Really hard to see how big it's going to be or how wide because of the cable and how it's like bunching. Whereas normally when I crochet something, I can lay it out flat, I can like try it on. This is just one cake, where I feel like if this was crocheted, I probably would have been done one cake by now and on to the second one. But I like the feeling of it. It's very soft, even though it does say that it's made out of what, like 60% cotton. It doesn't have that heaviness of cotton. I'm going to show you the update of this sweater. I can't try it on because it has the thing in it, and I probably could try it on, but I don't want to like chance it and accidentally break it. So this is how much yarn I have left from the first cake of yarn. I'm gonna have to start a second one today. I don't know which one's gonna be the front or the back yet because it's literally the same. I know I started like say here, so this technically would be the back here, and I'm gonna fold it over, but once it's folded over, like you're not only gonna know where the front and the back is. So I guess it just all depends on what side did I mess up on the most will become the back side. This is what it looks like so far. And then I'm working on the body now. I've got like this much done of the body. Like I'm doing the size large. I probably could have done a size medium, but I just want to like do the oversized because if it's too small, I can't do anything about it, right? I have to do 40 something rows. I think I'm at like maybe 17 or 18 rows right now. So I still got a lot to go. If I do say like the whatever, like 47 rows, if it's too short or it's too long, then I'll, you know, figure that out as I go. And then I still got to do the sleeves. It's getting there. I completely understand why knitters have different whips, different projects going on, because this is very boring. It's the same thing over and over again. I'd like to start something new, which I technically am. I'm going to start another crochet project probably before this is done. I mean, I do like the drape of it. I like the coloring of it. Hopefully this turns out to be good in the end. I didn't waste my time knitting. I don't think I've wasted my time knitting. I learned new techniques and I'm getting better at it. So, you know, if I don't like it, at least it was good practice, right? I think I'm done doing the body. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like maybe 1 or 2 rows of ribbing, but I'm not gonna do as much as the pattern says. I think the ribbing, they want like 7 centimeters of ribbing, and no, that's gonna be way too long. I think I'm just gonna do a few rows of ribbing and then the body of this will be done, which means I'll have to start the sleeves. Trying it on for the first time. It is very big and I don't know what to do. Also the neckline, I'm not 100% happy with it, but again, like my ribbing technique is just not there. Like even like on the bottom, it really didn't do the ribbing right. And like I went down a whole hook size. I went down a whole needle size to do the ribbing. So this is where I am right now. Like this much extra fabric. I probably could have done a small, but every time I've ever done a crochet pattern, I've always had to do a large, so I just assumed knitting would be the same thing. And maybe for some patterns it is. But this one I definitely could have went down. I also did use 1 hook size up than recommended. So they said a 5 and I did a 6. I was gonna start the sleeves last night and then I'm just like, I don't know, I gotta think, I have to sleep on it. What I think is gonna happen is I'm just going to continue working on this, mainly because I'm not 100% in love with the way that the colors, the yarn is. Now, not to say I don't love it, because I do love the colors, but from the cake of yarn, I thought it was definitely going to be more purples and pinks and yellows. Really a lot of like yellows and this yellowy green color. And there's like no purples or blues in it. And that's what I was kind of hoping for. So instead of me taking this all apart and like redoing it, I've decided that eventually maybe I'll find yarn that is the colors that I really want and maybe spend a little bit more money on a yarn or a color or something that has the colors that I really envisioned for this. Also, I feel like once the sleeves are on, it will look a lot better. It will look more complete, okay? It also is probably gonna be like really baggy. And you know what, that's okay. This is my first knitted like garment, okay? I've made a scarf and like a scarf hood and that was it for knitting. So this is pretty good. What I'm kind of thinking is maybe once it's blocked, it will be less square and more long. I don't know. I've never blocked a knitted item, so I'm really not too sure how that this is like, it's gonna block. But for right now, this is what it's looking like. I'm on the sleeve. Now, what I've decided is I'm not gonna do decreases. The pattern that I have, the size that I did, it was like every 12 rows, I had to do a decrease, and I'm just like, I don't really want to. The sleeves, for the most part, they are wide, but they're no wider than any of my crochet projects that I've done in the past. I'm fine with it. Like, let me just do this, and then maybe if I make this sweater again, which I probably will, you know, when the sleeves are done and I'm like, oh, you know what? I should have decreased. Well, now I know going on in the future, yes, decrease. But I always like the more billowy type of sleeve anyways for my projects. Yeah, I'm just working on the sleeves. No major update. I had to go to Central Purl today because I wanted to buy some yarn for a future project. But while I was there, I did pick up these knitting needles because I realized that the ribbing that I did on the collar and the ribbing on the bottom of the sweater, I went down in needle size. So I used 6 for the sweater and I went to a 5 for that because in the actual pattern, it says to use, I think, a 5.5 and a 4.5. And so I just went up a whole hook size, or I keep saying hook size, needle size for both. When I got to the cuffs, I realized I needed like a shorter cable. So instead of buying short ones and a new cable, I think that this is a better solution because one day when I buy the 4.5 millimeter, I can have them in this size, okay? So I went with this because I realized that this could just be for my cuffs for ribbing. So if I ever have to go down to a 4.5 for cuffs, this will be perfect. And it was $19, but I mean, it's Chogu. They are a bit more expensive, but I love them and I won't use any other brand now. Just like my BWA crochet hooks, okay? Like once I have the tools that I need that I like, I won't switch up. It is now January the 18th and I want to get this done today. I want this to be done. Remember when I bought this a few months ago? I think it was wool stock, and I bought this because there was some cute stuff in there. I didn't realize how handy this actually is, so really glad I did. It came with some of these little guys. It came with little tiny crochet hooks and a few other things that have been really useful for doing this. Right now I am on row 45. I need to do 70 rows, and on the 70th row I need to decrease every 2. I don't know, that's what I did. It's not in the pattern. I kind of made it up, which maybe I shouldn't be doing. I really want this to be done today, hopefully finishing the second sleeve today. So I have 3 more rows to go before I start the ribbing, and I've used up the second ball of yarn. I'm gonna have to use a third. Thank goodness I bought a third one. However, if I would have just made the correct size, like a size medium or one that's not as baggy, because again, first knitting project, I really didn't know what was gonna happen. I wouldn't even come close to needing this. Almost done this. The last stitch. I can get my hook through there. Needle. Oh goodness, I keep saying hook. Okay, that's it. Okay, it's off. Now I'm going to use crochet hooks and bind it off because I did it for this one. Although I think that if I wanted it to be more stretchy, I probably wouldn't. But I've already done it for that one. So I don't really see a reason why I wouldn't do it for this one. Sweater is done. I just have to sew the collar down, and then I think tomorrow I'll do a try on and then we'll block it. The ends have not been woven in and I won't be weaving them in right now. This is what it looks like right now. The sleeves I feel are pretty good length. They could be maybe a bit longer, but I didn't want to go too long with them. But I like the sleeves, the bagginess, how billowy they are. You know that's how I love my sleeves. Okay, so this is what the neckline looks like, okay? Again, I kind of wish that the pattern started from the bottom up, so then by the time I got to the neckline, I could kind of get my ribbing and that like kind of perfected, because by the time I got to whatever sleeve I ended off on, my ribbing looks a lot better. My technique going between purling and knitting got a lot better near the end. And unfortunately, it's on a sleeve that doesn't really matter. But the ribbing on the collar definitely could be cinched in a lot. Also did sew it down. So this is the one where I did double the amount, then I folded it over and I just kind of gave it a quick stitch around. Now it's just a little too open for me. I wish it was a little closer in. I would like to cinch this in ever so slightly. I'll do that after blocking, because maybe during the blocking process I'll do something and it will do something. I just want to give you the general fit of what it looks like at this moment before I block it. So if I go like this, you see that is a lot more room than I typically would like. And again, with how it does this on the back. What I'm hoping the blocking will do will stretch it down more. I really don't know what's gonna happen. This is pre-blocking and now I'm going to block it and have this dry for the next few days. And then we'll do the final try on reveal, thoughts about the pattern, thoughts about the yarn, thoughts about the overall project. Gonna go block this now. Done being blocked, but the neck is obviously way too big. I'm going to take some sewing elastic and sew it through, because I don't think I left a little opening for myself. I think I'm gonna try it on and kind of adjust it on me. Okay, so right underneath the arms, I do have like some little holes here and here in the pattern. It did say that this would occur, and then when you're done, you can like sew it up, which is what I'm doing. But also, there's also a video where she teaches you how to like fill that in while you're going, so you don't have to go back and sew it. But like, again, new to knitting, I only can take in so much information at once, okay? Over here, all I did was just the yarn needle and leftover thread. I just kind of like sewed it up, so then that way, it's like right here and right here, there's no holes anymore. So I'm just gonna do it to this side. My first knitted sweater is done. I can't believe I knit a sweater. I know I've been crocheting sweaters for years, but actually knitting one, I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think that I could knit a sweater. So this is what it looks like all blocked. I blocked it the other day, left it for a few days, and then this is what it turned out. The sleeves definitely got a little bit longer. I also feel like the material, although it was pretty soft before, it did kind of soften a little bit. I also feel like some of the stitches that I didn't do the greatest, like they were like a little holy and stuff like that, after blocking, I feel like they kind of got a little bit more uniform. For anybody who sees that little black dot, it's this little tiny black fuzz that was attached to the sweater the entire time, and I didn't realize until I was editing. I'm not going back outside and filming it because of that little piece of fuzz. It's not actually part of the project. The sweater's fine. So like, here's the front. Yes, it is still very roomy. I was kind of hoping that maybe it would go down a little bit. I think it did slightly. The back, it's still, again, like, what are we gonna do? I picked the wrong size. We're living with it. The back of it is still roomy, but I feel like before it was a different shape, whereas this one I feel like lays a little bit flatter. I do think that I probably could have made it a little bit longer. Sometimes I feel like I make something too long, and then other times I feel like I make it not long enough. Because it is my first knitted sweater, I really wasn't too sure what was gonna happen. We got the first one out of the way, okay? That was the scary part. Now anything else that I make in the future won't be as scary. Also, I moved my beaded curtain here because it fell down in the door the amount of times I had to get in and out, and because I'm like filming in this area right now, I decided to put the beaded curtain up here. I kind of want to redo it this year. I did find more beads. I knew I had another beaded seat that had broke, and I found the beads, so I definitely want to redo it so it's more fuller. I think it looks really good there instead of in front of the bathroom door, so that's, I think, where I'm gonna leave it from now on. Making this honestly wasn't that bad. It was the knit stitch, like the whole time was the knit stitch, although like you had to start off with like a purl for like the ribbing, and you had to do some purling for the cuffs and the bottom. I needed to get really into the groove of that. Unfortunately, because I started with the collar, my technique really wasn't there, so the collar just didn't work out the way that I wanted to. And let me like get close in here so you can kind of see. They're very like spaced out, and when I see other people making theirs, their collars are nice and neat and cinched in. I'm like, how do you do that? You saw it before. It was more like a cowl, and I guess if that's the type of sweater that you like wearing, then that's perfectly fine, but for me, not really my style. So I did have to put an elastic inside of this just to like cinch it in ever so slightly, not too tight, but like I can also get my head out. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna like cinch in and then you'd get all like this puckering and stuff like that, and I was really afraid that that was gonna happen. Like, it's fine, okay? Like, if I didn't tell you I did it, would you have known that I did it? This is also like the folded collar, so like I made it twice as high, folded it down. I should have probably done more ribbing, but like, to be honest, at the time when I did the ribbing, I'm just like, I want this project done. I'll do a few rows and like call it a day. Also, I don't think I should have done the crochet bind off. Is that what it is? Like when you take them off with the crochet hook, like where I did the crochet part, it's not really flexible, and I think that's because of the way that I bind it off. Knitting terms I'm still getting used to. Cast off, I don't know. We see how it looks, and now I'm just going to sit down and we're going to talk a little bit about my knitting journey. Let's talk about the sweater now that it's done and how I feel about knitting and all that jazz. So first off, I did calculate how long it took me to make. I wrote it down and I forgot what that number is because it's in the book and it's in the house. I believe it was over 40 hours to make. Again, my first sweater, learning new techniques. If I were to remake this like right now, it definitely would go a little bit faster. How much yarn did I use to make this? I used 2 full cakes plus a little bit. Had I made it the size that I probably would have wanted it to be, I probably would have just ended up using 2. The step-by-step sweater pattern, so easy to follow. For my very first sweater that I knit, also I think the third thing that I've ever knit, it was very easy to follow, and what was so helpful was her YouTube video that she made for the sweater. Because it is a free pattern, she does have a YouTube video explaining all the little steps. So it's like how to start the collar, how to do the increases here. I was really afraid that that was gonna like be more challenging than it was, and it really wasn't. When you're done the body, how to get back and start doing the arms, like all of that is covered in the video, which so helpful. So if you do want to knit a sweater and you're very intimidated, the step-by-step sweater is the perfect pattern to start on. From a crocheter's point of view, I thought it was a pretty good pattern. How I feel about the yarn knitted. I have made these raglan top-down sweaters before, but I've crocheted them. I really like the knitted version much better. I like how it feels. I like how it sits. I like how it sits on me. I like the flowiness, even though yes, it is a little bit big. It's fine. I feel like if I were to have crocheted it this size, it would just be very heavy and bulky, but like the knit, it's just so nice and soft and airy. I understand why people knit their clothing. Overall, I probably give an 8 out of 10. I think I did a pretty good job, just deducting marks because the sizing and the collar. Honestly thought that the collar was gonna bother me way more than it actually does, but after adding that little bit of elastic in here, because you can kind of see there's the elastic, it's perfectly fine. For my first sweater, I'm very happy with it, and I actually did my yarn to make another sweater, and now I'm on Ravelry, and I've hearted some other projects that I really want to do now. In the comments below, let me know if any of y'all have made this sweater before and what your thoughts are on it. As someone who is new to knitting, I thoroughly enjoyed making it, and I can't wait to make more of them. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.